もういらん。
I know your mother once taught you lying is bad, but sometimes lying can actually keep your identity protected. That's if you're an overpowered protagonist, of course. These 10 guys may seem weak from the outside, but when they show off their power, they do it in the most glamorous way possible. As usual, we plan on bringing more videos in the future, so don't forget to stay tuned by hitting the subscribe button along with the bell notification. Now, let's see 10 anime where the weak main character shows that he's not the guy to be messed with. Number 10. Katana Gatari.
巨頭流のそうか僕はこういう風に失敗するのか
Want a character journey of an overpowered swordsman and a genius? Then Katana Gatari is the show for you. It's about Yatsuri Shichika, a swordsman who fights without a sword, and Togame, an ambitious young strategist who seeks to collect 12 legendary swords for the shogunate. The overpowered character here is Shichika, who only fights with one fighting technique, which most people will think is weak, but in truth, he has mastered this technique enough to defeat most opponents with a few hits. The anime shows that growing challenges along the journey, and there is nothing better than seeing Shichika show that one technique is all you need to win the game. Number 9. Arifureta. From commonplace to the world's strongest. Here we have an anime featuring a cold-hearted and cynical protagonist who pretends to be weak, but has enough power to destroy the world and build his own harem. The one I'm speaking of is Hajime Nagumo, who is frequently bullied by his classmates. While others gain powerful magical abilities during transportation, he only gains basic alchemy. He is soon betrayed by his classmates, and he is dropped to the bottom of a dungeon. Here he befriends a vampire named Yue and slowly learns how to grow strong. If it wasn't obvious by the title itself, the anime shows how the weak boy gradually grows strong and surprises his opponents. So, if you need a good power fantasy isekai with a character journey, then this is definitely going to suit your tastes. Number 8. Full Metal Panic. What's anime without teenagers in high school? Full Metal Panic is a good blend of spy action and regular teenage melodrama. Here we follow Sosuke Sagara, a teenage boy working at the Mithril organization, now tasked with protecting a young girl named Kaname Chidori. This energetic teenager seems to have a mystery enveloping her that makes her the target of many organizations. It is up to Sosuke and his two friends to protect the girl and learn about her mysterious past. Sosuke may seem like your average high school boy, but in truth, he has received rigorous training under the military for an emergency situation, and is an experienced mecha pilot. He soon begins to surprise others with his tactics and fighting, and the next thing you know, the most silent boy in your class is the most deadliest assassin. Number 7. Disastrous Life of Saiki K.
さらに生後1ヶ月で歩くことができたそれも空中を
Not all power should be devoted to fighting battles. Here we have Saiki, who is an average high schooler who needs to live alone and mind his own business. But his friends and parents won't allow that to happen. In the very first episode itself, it is shown that Saiki has the powers to match a god, and can literally destroy anything with the snap of his fingers. But he disguises these powers by appearing as a regular high school boy. But when the situation calls for it, he doesn't hesitate to use his power or blow up things if the situation is too troublesome for him. Number 6. Hamatora, the animation. A detective at first may feel like a weak character, but that's before he actually shows off his power. It happens in a world where certain humans get superhuman abilities, and they are referred to as minimum holders. And one of them is Nice. As a minimum holder, Nice possesses the ability to turn himself into sound waves and travel into other wavelengths. If that's too much physics for you, think of the guy having the speed of sound. The anime follows his adventures as he tries to solve supernatural incidents and mysteries while using his power. It has a Bungo Stray Dogs feel to it, but unlike Atsushi, Nice doesn't think twice about using his power to surprise others or to show he's the most overpowered detective in the world. Number 5. My Cultivator Girlfriend. Here we move onto a modern cultivation world where a rule known as the Law of the Jungle makes everyone's lives insecure. After saving a cultivator girl, the security guard Ma Yingzhong accidentally starts the journey of practicing cultivation. If you have read works of the similar niche, then you know how this is going to go. There is a concept of leveling up and gradually gaining strength. The characters have backstories that shape their personalities, and if you're a fan of power fantasy, you're definitely going to love this. Ma Yingzhong is the man we need to talk about here. He may look like a generic protagonist, but that's the last thing you would think after watching this anime. Number 4. Kaze no Stigma. Wind users are always badass, but it's more awesome when they hide it and then reveal their power. Kazuma Yagami is a user of Fujutsu, the ability to control the wind. After a duel with his cousin Ayano, he is kicked out of the house. Several years later, his whole house is murdered by a user who has the power of the Fujutsu. Now everyone suspects Kazuma as the killer, and so does his cousin Ayano. It's up to him to show that he's not the killer while working together with Ayano on finding the culprit. If you're interested in battles, magic, comedy, kick-ass moments, as well as Kazuma showing he's not a person to be messed with, then give this show a watch. Number 3. Doro He Doro.
もういらん。
Enough about humans. Let's move on to a lizard. I know, you heard that right. Dorohedoro tells the story of a man named Kane who is trying to find the sorcerer who erased his memory and turned his head into a lizard. In this world, humans and sorcerers are different species, and the former lives in a hole and the latter lives in the world above and constantly threatens humans. The strength of this story lies in its world building, characters, and its evolving mystery. There is also the character of Kane, who may just seem like an ordinary lizard man for you, but put him in a fight, and the next thing you know, he has peeled the skin off his opponent. Number 2. A certain magical index. This is a rather popular one, but if you haven't watched it, here's a final push to give this one a watch. Magical Index happens in a world with both mages and espers. Mages use magic and espers use science. The two factions have been in collision ever since they started living together, and among all of this is Toma, a boy who has the ability to negate any ability using his hand. He meets a nun who is being chased by two mages and soon gets dragged into trouble he never asked for. The series has an interesting blend of science and magic, and what's more interesting is the looks of everyone when Toma stops their most powerful attacks with a fling of his hand. Number 1. Lupin III. What's the money heist of anime? That's Lupin III. Lupin III is about the thief known as Lupin, and the various crimes he does. Along his adventures, he meets a hitman named Daisuke Jigen, and a woman called Fujiko Mine. The two become friendly rivals in the beginning, but soon get together from time to time to achieve their goals when the goal is mutual. Lupin is an interesting adventure about a thief who may look clumsy and funny at first, but shows his true skill when it comes to heists and robberies. It's a long-running show, and the show's main survival factor is at its characters. Trust me on this one, you'll never find an interesting cast of characters than on Lupin, and you'll be surprised every time he pulls a trick and shows the twist of his schemes. So, did you catch 10 anime where the main character is great at lying? You cannot judge somebody by appearance, and if you watch these 10 anime, you'll get enough examples for it. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can stay updated as soon as we release a new video. Stay safe, anime fans, and I'll see you in the next video.